Okay, so this is what I am entering the 2026 year with. This is my planner, and then my 2 reading journal slash hobby journal. So I'm first going to go over my planner. So this is the Hobonichi Weeks, and I'll just put these over here. And I call it, I fell in love with the Hobonichi Weeks this year of 2025. So I got another one, and I got the cover for it. I was really excited. So here's a little flip through with no real explanation. Well, actually, maybe a little. So my word of the year is create. I want to work more with the spiritual holidays that I celebrate, my health tracker, and then since I didn't do December in here, I'm doing December in the current years. I kind of put a key of how I wanted to do. And I already decorated January. I haven't done any others. My string broke, so that's that. I haven't done the weeks yet, but I'm really excited with how I pre-did the moons and the holidays and birthdays, because that's something that I'd wish I had done in the first one. The next part I really want to show you that I don't think whenever I look at people's Hobonichis and watch the videos online, I'm always feel like I'm looking for something that I can't find. So I did cover this page with my word of the year, which is create, and then I'm using this as a step tracker. So each day I put in my steps, and each Monday is highlighted because on Mondays is when I track my weight to understand my weight with my cycle. And then I don't hear people talk much about the back notes. Not really. Or they're not using it the way that I am trying to get inspiration for. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to share this. So this is my movies, because whenever I watch a new movie, I like to do the title, what the source was, like if it was Netflix, if it was Prime, if I went to the movies, and then I just put the month. So I'll put like January, February, or whatever. And then I like seeing how many movies I watch throughout the year. This is the first year where I'm doing it back to back, because this year I ended up using 2. This is my series tracker, which is also different because this year I wanted to do an anime and I wanted to do a series. So we'll see how it works this year. And each line, and there's a lot of little cubes, so it'll fit like a chunk, where I'll put the series and then I just X the episodes, and then I'm going to highlight the name of the ones that it's an anime. My goals, I don't have them written down. My travel plans, I have estimated because I like to go on a trip every quarter. My ABC reading challenge, I love to keep my book stuff in here, and I think it's Madly Maddie, who I got this idea from, because then I have the books. And then this year when I did this, I just put the month, and then if it was an audio, an ebook, or like a book. This year I had the goal of 65, and I've surpassed it, and I'm on 70 currently. Next year's goal will be 74, with what I like to say this is my soft goal. My hard goal will always be 100, and in the past 4 years I've never reached 100. I'm always within this range. And then I have a tracker for each month where I'll have my books, if I read anything in my 20 and 20, and these are different kind of these are challenge trackers. Sundara has to do with this. If I bought a book, borrowed a book, ebook, if the book is a printed book, how many movies, series did I watch, how many episodes, my outside time, and how many steps in that month. This is a finance thing. So my money tracker, my book bracket of the year, and then I just write out the name of the books and then keep track of it, and then at the end I'll tally it up and the book of the year. I loved this because I started this late this year though. So I have my winter list, my spring list, and movies that I want to watch, and then things I want to do in that season of life. So I have a winter, spring, summer, autumn, and I think this is very curated to the person type of thing. And then I want to do a month in review. So I have all these pages for where I would write what I was fascinated with or what was happening within that month for each month. And then because my word of the year is create, I have some projects that I want to do right here as like a list. And then things to do that are not spending money, because I feel like when I am not doing things that spend money, and I am creating something better for myself when I am not spending money, if that makes sense. So I have a list of things to go to. I want to play more video games, so it's not about the time, it's about the actual doing. So I figured I'd write them down as I play them. And then that's all I have in here until addresses. This is my hard goal, so I'll write the list of the books with the hopes of getting to 100. And I don't have anything I'm doing with these ones yet. I kind of hoped that someone would have something really cool for these, so we'll see. And then I was using these last pages to write my daughter's spelling words to help her study, and then since I carry this, I can go over them with her whenever. And then this year I have the little notebook to bring with me for grocery lists, and I'm really happy I'm doing that this year because I feel like I was writing on space I didn't like writing on the years prior, just for grocery lists. So that's my Hobonichi weeks for this year. The next book I'm going to talk about in my lineup is my hobby journal. I just got this notebook, and it's from the Unicorn Eclipse, the stickers from Unicorn Eclipse. I love them. I fell in love with them a while ago, and I kind of just saved up the money this year to invest in their products. And so I open it, hobby journal, when I started it, because it's kind of a collection journal, because when I do my book, I don't do review pages where there's a book for each page. I don't really do that. I'm more of a tracker and data collection is what I like. So at the front I have how I rate my books. So how I rate the spice of books. So the amount of peppers, and then there's different types of peppers. And then the peach rating system, which is from, I forget the creator's name. I will put her up yonder, but she used the peach rating system, and I really like that. And I mostly have been rating off of vibes my entire life, but over the past month I've been using this, and I realized that I've been rating books just way different once I've started putting more thought into it. And now into 2026, I have my reading goals right here, my game goals, and then my media goals. I have the books of the month, and then I have a book bracket here, and then once I'm done, the picture of the book of the year can go here, and then the books I read per month, I only have up to 14 because my high ever has only been 11, so we'll see how that goes. I have another series tracker. I do like to put trackers in multiple things. I love having it in my planner because what is it, like pulling out a party trick? When people ask me about things and I'm out, I like pulling this out of my purse or bag and just being like, oh, this. and showing it to them, and then it's just like, oh wow, that's cool. Or when I'm out and about or book shopping or I'm somewhere else, I can kind of look and see. So this is, and then this is my series tracker, and I'm gonna highlight the series if it's an anime. My movies, my video games, and then I don't think I'm going to be using it a lot to need multiple pages because it's a new hobby I've cultivated. And then the system, like if it's going to be on the Switch or the PlayStation, I'm going to put it here. And then I want to try and, because I don't see this being me playing video games enough for this to go too haywire, but I will mark each day that I do play, and then I just have it highlighted for how many days are in those months. And then any achievements, so when I do finally get my 100% on Hogwarts Legacy, I can put that there. I don't think I need a lot of space for this hobby yet. My library, I totally do not like how I did this side, but I've been utilizing the library more and more, and I downloaded the Libby app. So the title, and then I have a key, so I want to know the cost. I want to know if I utilize this at the physical library or if I use Libby. If it's an audiobook, a digital book, a book, or other. And I say other because I've checked out the crochet kit. I've checked out other things from the library that's not a book, or like if it was a movie. And then I took a note that I messed up the lines here, and this is how I'd want those lines to actually look for the next year if I want to make this again. I have pages in a book, and I made it so that each square has two options. And I might run out of room here, but this is new, and I'm doing a lot of stuff this year because I really want to get more into the data aspect of what am I reading, how do I want to improve, into the intellects of it, and what is the average of what I naturally read for books, so that later on, if I want to have a goal to read books with more pages, I can do that if my average is only books with 200 to 300 pages. The alphabet challenge again. And then this was another one that I wanted to do, where it's the year that they're published. So I have 26, and then it goes every single year up until 05. And then I have 2000 to 04, 1900 to Y2K, and then pre-1900. And I did a lot of rereading last year and a lot of early 2000s books. And then this year it was mid-2000s to present. So I'm really curious on what it's going to look like in 2026. And then I have songs because, you know, when a new song comes out, I don't really think about it and how much I like it, and it's new. And I want to document that this year. And then over here, whenever I play D&D, I want to put kind of the dates that I played, if I was the DM or what my character's name were. And kind of that's it. That's all I want to do is document that and kind of have an idea of how many different characters I played, how often I played, and things of that nature. And I have a feeling this is going to dwindle down because the people that we play D&D with the most are moving. But I hope that having this page and seeing it makes me want to take the initiative to do this hobby more, even though it feels like it could potentially phase a little next year. This is my 26 in 2026. This space is empty because at the end of the year, I want to do like a blank out of 26 to how many books I read out of 26. So this is a mix between books that I own and books that I don't own, or books that I have like the ebook for or the audiobook. So I have all of these books. in some format. But these are my 26 and 26, and some of them go with my other goals, like translated or a BIPOC author or something of some nature. This is like a double grid, so it's authors and genres, because I wanted to, one of the things I did this year was read more horror books, or like splatterpunk is like a subgenre. But I want to see how much I read of which genre, and the genres I picked are based off of my reading, and I know that it's going to, some genres are very, it could be multiple genres. And then I have the authors, male BIPOC, male white, non-binary BIPOC, non-binary, basically white, I didn't write that, female BIPOC, female white, and then kind of how many of that author, which I'm not going to do every single book, I'm going to do just the author. So if I read multiple books from one author, it still just counts as one author. And then fan fiction, I do read fan fiction, so I'm going to do, and I did like a little, once I started reading books, I started reading less fan fiction, and I'm only going to do ones that I guess deem worthy of putting in here, because there are some that I read where it's a quick, I wanted my fix, and then I got it. So the date, the name and author, the rate, and by rate, I mean if it's mature or general or teen, the ship, the words, and then I have like under 5K, under 15K, under 50K. So I have an idea of what I want to do here. How many chapters in the status? So the status is if it's complete or incomplete, because sometimes I still read stuff that was written in 2013, and you know it might not ever get updated, but it still has like that 100K words, and I want whatever I can get from it. And I just will switch between the highlighted, unhighlighted for all of these for reading fan fiction. My next grid is the Lexile. So I have the Lexile number and then the grade. So the number, and then that would be grade, second grade, third grade. And I have it all the way up to advanced, because I want to track all of my books this year and see what grade level I naturally gravitated toward, because there was this whole literacy thing, and most people read on an 8th grade level, which would be, this is 6th to 8th grade, and I'm in, so it's iffy, and the Lexile number really depends on which website you went to, so this is just the one that I went to. I have in and out, so books that I bought and books that I donated. And I'm doing this one specifically because I want to really cultivate my library to be what I want it to be, not what I think is aesthetically pleasing or what I think the internet would like to see, I guess. Or sometimes I buy books because, oh, you should have this book on your shelf because it's good or it's a classic, when really it's like, I've read it once, I'll never read it again. And then this is where I'm just going to log all of my books. And I kind of have trackers, Lexile, publication date, the genre and author, type, and pages. And this is more of like a checklist. So I'll put the Lexile number, I'll put the publication, and I'll check off if when I log this book that I've logged it in the other pages, basically. So I have my goal, and then like, woohoo, I reached it, and then my overachiever, and then keep dreaming to do more. I want to write down other hobbies that I tried in 2026. And then this is my overflow. So this one's not going to change. It's not a 2026 specific, but this is anime watch list for currently. And then some of them are rewatches. Like I've already watched Black Cove. Like there's a chunk on here I've watched, But I feel like there was a good 3-year period where I stopped watching, and now I'm just getting back into this phase. My kids are older, they're in school, and I want to get back into this, basically this anime watching hobby. But then there's times where I'm like, I want to rewatch some of these. And then this is my series tracker, and I only have series that I've already started on here, and we'll see how that goes. And then I figure if I DNF it, like I don't like this series anymore, I'll just put a strike through it. And then that's it, what I have. This is my hobby tracker. Next is a very niche journal, and I just call it my Sundara journal, and I will explain that in just a moment. I've named this my Sundara journal because that's the name of the character I made for my magical Readathon character who goes to Aurelium. It's a very, and it's still new to me, and I've been cultivating it, and I like to take it slow, but there's so much to it. So Sundara Dawnspire is my original character for this Readathon that I'll tag all of the creators. This is the original art. This is the original art. I have art in here that's just stuff I found online, stuff that's AI'd, but it's not used for purchase or for sale. So because it's just going in here, I don't feel any way about it. So here's this art, and then this is my character, Sundara Dawnspire, and all of her information. And I like to make it interactive. So these are the books that I have read for her development. And I'm still on the novice path. I'm finishing this up, and this is the map. And if this is brand new to you, this was very intimidating for me, and I wanted to do it for a long time, and I finally took the plunge. So this is the map to get to Aurelium, the school to learn the craft that you're going to learn, basically. And I already know the craft, but I haven't written anything in here yet. So on the path, there's the novice path, and each place you go to has a reading objective. I don't think that's the right, a reading prompt. So navigation, so a book with a map. So, and then you pick a book to read. And it's that simple. I just take things to the next step a lot. And then I wrote like a little bio on her. This part of the bio was written based off of the vibes and feels of the books that I read for, you get book prompts for when you're creating, if they're a wildling, where they live, and all of that. So that's her background. I've been writing diary entries based off of the books vibes that I've read and the prompt that you can read that goes along with this map. So I have that. And then this map is the map that the creator of this Readathon made last year. And I was impatient and I printed it and I just put 2026. And you follow the map and you have a reading prompt for every month, and that's what I have. And I've already wrote the reading prompt of January because it's to read a book published in 2025, saying goodbye to last year and preparing for 2026. So that one's already there. And then you pick from there where you're going to go. And I have the prompts already printed, and they're in the back here. And then as I pick them, I'll write the prompt, and then I'll put the picture of the book. And then I want to do a journal that my OC, is writing out throughout the months. And then here, and this is where it gets a little chaotic, is I find other reading challenges sometimes just on YouTube that I'm like, oh, I like that, I want to apply it. So this is by Erin Smith. She had this Bewitched Spellbook book challenge, and so I printed it out, and basically you have reading prompts, and if you read them, you get this spell: cast to wrap yourself in the quiet comfort of the night. And you read these books and you unlock that spell. So basically what I did was I made it so that my character, as I read these prompts, she gets to learn her magic, which kind of goes to this page because and I made it into like a little book. They have book recommendations for every single prompt. So if I wanted to and didn't know what to read, they already have it here for me. But as I just kind of pick my books, because I'm a mood reader, I check them off. So I read Number the Stars, or Number the Stars. And so I checked off a book with a theme of resistance, rebellion, or survival, but it wasn't on here. And then as you read the books, you get points to become different levels for your magic. And it's just something that's not part of the magical readathon that I added in here. And this is another thing that was not part of the magical readathon that I added in here. And there was another creator that has Romanceopoly, and it's a reading challenge that she does throughout the year where you go to university and there's book prompts. But part of that is there's add-ons where you have a book club. And I thought, you know what, my character Sundara, she would love to go to book club, and she would love to have friends who have a book club. So I picked this theme first, which this is not the character. I'll get into that. So the person who runs the book club, Sage, for the Hearts and Spoons, that's hard to put, whatever, book club, and these are all the prompts. It's the Hearts and Spoons Club. It's more cozy. It's for readers that want cinnamon roll comfort with love interest. And so Sage is a herbologist major from Dairun, leads this club. And that's not originally who was the person. And I just re-imaged her to look like a gnome who, like, I wanted her to fit the world. And then I did that over here too for Lex, who is the lead for this book club, which is basically the Spicy Book Club. A club for readers who like red flags, sharp banter, and plots that immediately behave badly. So I have book clubs for bonus books for my original character to be part of. And so I've created that. But this is based off of another reading challenge. It's not the magical challenge, but it's also not the Spellbook challenge, Bewitched Spellbook challenge. And I'll put the links to the different challenges in my bio, well, the description. And then I have this just little book nook with, since I love collecting stickers, I'll put little things on here for Sundara to kind of collect. And I've put it on this side as well. And then I've made it and so that it can pop out and I can change the backgrounds. So I can change it with the seasons and stuff. So when she's in her cozy corner, it can look different. But it's Christmas time, so I kind of got this one going on right now. My printer was running out of ink too, so some of the paper just don't look all that great. So yeah, so it's a little clearer page, so I can change it. And then I made, since I work out and go to the gym, which is another hobby I have, I made different spells and stuff that she can gain based off of my improvement. So when I could do 3 sets of 12 goblet squats with 15 pounds, she got steady grip, which is she can carry heavier objects and she gets a small boost. So I kind of did that so she can get stronger, and based off of what she has, I kind of think about how will that affect her journey with different prompts. And then this is part of, I know this is so much. This is part of the magical Readathon, when they do their light felt, basically their winter Christmas aspect at Readathon. So this is the town, and then I have a little picture of her. And then normally they do this passport book where you get points to purchase things. But I just have it in there for funsies, and I kind of like this like wintry theme I got going on. And then they did, because I'm participating in it this year, this little bingo card that I have, and then I kept this page blank so that way next year I can kind of put what they're doing next next to it, or if there's another reading challenge out there that has something. And then this is yet again another reading challenge, and I kind of forgot the user who did this. It might be the same one who has the other one. But it's Lost in the Library, and you kind of just roll the dice, and it's up. The creator had it for up to interpretation of what the different things mean. Then I figured I'd use my highlighters to just highlight the boxes. And then I wrote here about how Aurelium's library is massive, and I kind of write it in a diary entry style about how my character just always gets lost there, and how the books come to life, because I imagine Aurelium's library being like the page master when it comes to libraries. And then Earning a Dragon is hard reading. So this is from the creator Bays Reads, and I'm kind of adapting this for my world so that my character can be a dragon rider. And so there's this bingo sheet which has challenges, but they're kind of, I think it's kind of adapted by that 75 reading hard or the type of thing where you can't X off the series staircase until you've read a standalone, a duology, and you have to read all of this before you can cross it off. And then I have the little guide here. Some of it I'm leaving up for interpretation, the ABC challenge. So this will be an ongoing challenge that will be on the more difficult side. But I'm excited because the point is it's hard because earning a dragon is hard. And that's the last page I have in this one. I do have things pre-printed. So as she ages and goes to school, I have her aging up. I've pre-done that. When she does get into Aurelium, I already know she's going to be a healer. So I'll be making pages as she ages and every year, because Aurelium has 3 years before you graduate. I'll post the video of them explaining the magical readathon and why I'm able to have her age, and I imagine her getting her distinguished and everything to become a healer, and then even potentially going back for another major, or if I want to do another character. So this will be an ongoing journal of everything that she experiences and goes through. And the next readathon will be in spring for this one specifically. Yeah, and then it gives me a whole year of reading prompts. So at least I think the first book I read every month will be based off of this so that I can fill this out. And right now, every book I read, I make it a priority for it to be a prompt based off of the novice path. So yes, this is my favorite. This is my most fun journal that I have. It was very intimidating. I did not know if I would like it. It felt like too much work. There's a whole background story of what to read to understand the world and everything. But once you get it, you got it. And I've just added other aspects from other reading challenges to this one. So my ecosystem for next year is, this is Sundara's reading journal, my hobby journal, and my everyday planner. And this is everything. This is my happy space. I would love to hear about your happy space, and until the next video.